Happy Friday, y'all. Welcome to Weekly Rhythm. I'm your host, Nick Chen. This is the show where we provide everyone a prompt on Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this prompt is to get you working differently, maybe a different workflow, or think outside of your usual box. And throughout the whole week, you'll have a chance to submit your bounce at weeklyrhythm@splice.com, and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. Right now, we're going to take a listen to y'all's bounces, give y'all some feedback, and shout y'all out. I'm so grateful to be joined by my long-term friend at Splice, Max Rewalk. He's on the content team. How are you doing today, Max? How are you feeling? How have you been inspired?
Fabulous. Thank you. I feel good. Despite the quarantine, I've been keeping up on my yoga, keeping creative. I appreciated the prompt this week. I'm feeling the love and the energy from Cuddle22 in the chat. Respect, my brother.
Max,
That's all. I feel good. Yeah.
What was
Sorry,
the
you're dropping
prompt
out a little
this week?
bit.
What was the prompt this week?
Prompt this week was to create something with a guitar, or that features a guitar.
Yeah.
And we definitely had a really good kickoff to this when we used Soundation to all collaborate on a track online. I was so surprised with how well it turned out with everyone that joined. People were contributing in dope ways. Someone laid down like a top line, which I definitely did not expect.
Shout out
Let me stop
Daddy Flower.
smacking the mic.
I said, shout out Daddy Flower in the chat. I think that was the vocalist, right? I think I see Daddy Flower.
Yeah.
So excited to hear that. It came together beautifully. Before we start listening to y'all's submissions, you can get your last minute bounces in. Remember, email them at weeklyrhythm@splice.com. But before we move on, let's see what you missed. If you missed anything on SpliceTV this week, we had an exciting week. You can go to our video sections on Twitch to get those recaps. On Monday, of course, we kicked off this week's prompt, which was to feature a guitar on one of your tracks. Tuesday, we had Ariel Burrojow from mixing, and I think it was a Pat Locke track. Yeah, it was an awesome mixing and mastering masterclass, and he showed us how to do it all within the box. On Wednesday, we had Home Studio 101 with Kara and Reed Stefan, the realest puppet in the game, and Kara, superstar sample provider on Splice vocalist. And they showed us how to get really great recordings in your home studio and how to get radio-ready recordings from your home studio. Thursday, Ian Patrick, who's produced for Dua Lipa, Britney Spears, Justin Bieber, did a marathon stream. It was, I think, over 4 hours. And yeah, he showed us just his workflow, a bunch of great tips and tricks and diamonds in there. So definitely go check that out. And right now, we're about to kick off y'all's submissions for this week's Weekly Rhythm. The first submission is from Samuel Davis Jr. And I love that Samuel Davis Jr. actually did their submission in Soundation. So they actually did the whole thing in Soundation. Again, go check that out if you haven't. It's a free online DAW. There's some premium, tiers, but it's a really sweet collaboration tool. So let's take a listen. This is called Beautiful Dreams. Let's listen for the guitar.
I found it.
What'd you think, Max?
That was tough right there. Yeah, I liked it. That was cool. Yeah, I think it really worked. It's hard. I can't really make like mixing type comments because I feel like I'm not getting it exactly because of the quality on Skype. But I think like the composition sounded cool. I really liked that at the end he went somewhere else with it instead of just leaving the same sample loop over and over. Like that can work, but I like that he threw the Rhodes in there instead just to give it a little bit of variation. I could have used like maybe some drum fills and stuff to differentiate like the sections. So yeah, it did get a tiny bit repetitive, but I could feel, that's a great starting point for you to bring into a session with an artist, and then you play that, and then maybe you cut some stuff out like as they go to emphasize like good bars or something that they say. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think sometimes it's a different workflow. You give a really repetitive thing, and then you create the energy around the artist, like what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right.
So if just like dropping a few like two beats at the end of a phrase could give a nice subtractive fill. I really loved the groove, the feeling. I think it was amazing. Granted, it was all done in Soundation too. And I think the one thing I heard, maybe like tuning the snare drum up like one or two semitones. It felt a little maybe not out of pitch, but could have been like a little brighter in my opinion. But yeah, really, really solid work and a great one to start this week's prompt. The next one is from Alistair Atzori, and Alistair, everyone feel free to shout yourself and plug yourself in the chat. Link your SoundClouds, your Instagram while we're doing this, because yeah, I'm probably gonna butcher y'all's names. I'm sorry. And this one is called, let's see what it's called, MLM. So I don't know what that stands for, but it's kind of mysterious. I like it.
Multi-level marketing.
Multi-level marketing.
Yeah, like Ponzi scam.
This, yeah, like we open and it's like, all right, you have been selected to, join this Ponzi scam, basically. No, well,
I mean, that's the only thing I know that MLM stands for. So sorry if that wasn't what it's supposed to be.
All right. Let's listen to MLM. Now I have a really good preconceived notion of what this song's going to be about. Let's take a listen. Wow. When the drums hit, I know we both started shaking our head. I wasn't sure where it was gonna go, but I really liked where it went. The guitar was beautiful, and there were a lot of counterpoint melodies. The drums were hitting beautifully, and the patterns were really energetic. I think if maybe the melodic elements were separated in the mix, either panning wise a little bit, or a little EQ curves, could just make them stand out just a little bit more. But I mean, the vibe was solid. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, my feedback was similar. I thought it was fire. I was really with going on the journey that they were taking us on. I thought it was a cool story that the beat was telling already. The one thing I would say is I would go even further than you maybe, and just take some elements out. Like, for example, the ARP melody playing against the guitar in the start, you didn't really need it. And then there's two melodic elements occupying a similar space, and my ear was getting confused because of that. Especially if you're trying to put vocals on top of there, I think you could take one thing out per section and it would still work totally fine.
Yeah, I think that's really solid feedback, and just maybe overbuild, and then you have to give yourself that time to take away, which is a hard step for all of us. How many of us have made an overcomplicated beat? I mean, come on.
How many of us have made anything else?
So great work. And the next one is by Evangelos Sarmantas, and it's called Xenons. And let's see, they used a splice loop and some splice drums. So let's take a listen. Y'all, if you don't let me know which 30 seconds you would like to hear, we've been playing a little bit more than 30 seconds. It's not my fault. So I'm just going to play this one from the beginning because it sounds interesting. I got distracted and did not stop that one. That was
Yeah, right?
That was very. Yeah, I wanted to keep hearing it. Yeah, I wish we could play like everyone's full submission. I love the vibe. Max, what do you think?
Totally. Yeah, that was fire. If that was yours, say it in the chat. That was fire right there. The one thing that I would do, and it's a personal choice, like this wouldn't be, you have to do this to make your song good. I would like swing that kick a little bit more, like it just felt kind of on the grid, but I recognize that that's a stylistic choice that you could make. So, I think it was still fire. Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah, that's good feedback. It was maybe a more towards the grid rather than like having a pocket or a swing. I also think like from the first submission, like maybe creating a little fills every now and then right around a minute, I could hear some maybe like a pad layer or something melodic that could just kind of do a new texture where the drums dropped out. But yeah, really great work. If y'all are just joining us, we are doing the weekly rhythm. We're listening to y'all submissions. The prompt was to create a track that features guitar. And there's so many genres that feature guitar that, this is like really exciting to hear the diversity of where we're all coming from. And you can email your submission at weeklyrhythm@splice.com. We're going to listen to the next one, which is by Foresight with a 4 at the beginning. So again, feel free to shout yourself out in the chat. And this one is called Downtime. Let me see. I think this one was completed maybe before the submission, but y'all, if it has a guitar, we'll play it. Let's take a listen. Foresight, please link that in the chat because there are 2 other minutes that we didn't get to listen to, and I think I really wanted to hear where that went. I liked the groove a lot. It was very vibey, and I agree with someone in the chat. I think Philly Chiz said, now that's a bass sound I can live with forever. The timbre was awesome. I feel like, maybe like the could be a little swing in the bass, like a little bit maybe on some of the lines. But honestly, the sound, the vibe was really solid. Max, what'd you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I like the bass. I think it really fit in there. The sax was kind of cool too. Some of it felt maybe a little bit like loopy. You know what I mean? Like the loop got a little bit repetitive at some points with elements like the sax. Like think about if you had a real sax player, like it wouldn't be the same way exactly every time you go through it. But with that said, that's super nitpicky, and I thought it was fire. So, good job.
Yeah, like sometimes a cool technique if you have that like loopy saxophone is maybe just put like automate a different effect on that's like slightly where it maybe even comes from a different place or pan it. Yeah, panning could also help that. But yeah, that's like it did kind of maybe get a little static with the sax. But really nice work. Please link your stuff in the chat, Foresight, and that was Foresight. So that's how you spell Foresight. Moving on, we've got Michael Veronica, and let's see. This one is called I Need You. And yeah, let's hear it. I had to keep playing that one too, and I feel bad stopping that in the middle of that solo line. But man, especially that solo line was sick. Those grace notes.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, where's the guitar gonna come? And I was like, there's no guitar in this. But then it did come in like as the secondary element, like the rallying element, which I really loved. The groove was awesome. I feel like maybe I could get a little more low end. I mean, and it's hard to tell. It's just I don't know where we were in the mixing process or anything like that. But yeah, I think the vibe was 100% there. It was super smooth and should definitely be on Lo-Fi Beats to Studied with. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, that was tight. I like the plucky synth at the end, the little like lead line. The drums are in the pocket. That was really cool. If I have to give one nitpick, it's that some of the audio edits on the sample chop like didn't sound perfectly like clean at the end. Like I could really hear it cut off, and like the noise would kind of bleed through at the end of some of the like Need You So Bad like chops. I don't know if you heard that as well.
I mean, yeah, I'd have to play that again, but I think it could have been like maybe like a little tighter on the edits where you're saying maybe get off the grid a little bit or fades or something.
Yeah, I thought the drums were good. I think it was just like the maybe like a little noise gate on that sample, or like maybe even a little reverb to just like smear it out. But again, we're in super nitpicky territory here. That was fire. So
awesome.
Good job.
Keep those submissions coming. We are moving on to the next submission, and that is Norte with a little slash in the O. I actually don't know the name of that. Max, I bet you would know maybe?
No, the only one I know is umlaut. That's with
exactly.
2 dots over it, but I don't know what the...
Sound off in the chat if you
Sound
know.
off in the chat.
If you know what the O with a slash is called technically. But Norte, Norte. And let's see, play from 0 to 30. Thanks for the timestamp. I really appreciate that. Takes a little stress off my job. And this is called Splice Weekly Rhythm Track.
Is it a backslash through the O or a forward slash?
Forward slash. Whoa, that was so hot.
Right?
I love the drum programming, the flute. I mean, at the beginning, I want to know, was that a sample, Norte? I'm guessing it was, but it was a great sample. Max, did you recognize that sample?
Yeah. No, I didn't recognize that sample. I thought it was hard, though. I really liked the sample. I really liked the guitar. I thought it was dope. If, like, you were going to take it one step to the next level, I would say some, like, a little bit of differentiation on the 808, because it just kind of goes from, like, 1 to 5 and back. That's me like trying to find something that I have to nitpick, like to give you any sort of feedback other than it was dope.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like I think maybe when the kicks were like dun dun dun, like the quarter notes, it could have been moving a little, or some slides or glides.
Yeah, slide up to the like 13th or something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as we go through the decades, the higher we slide on our 808s, right. I feel like so. 3 octaves up, put it up. No, that was awesome. I really loved how the drums hit on that one for sure. So Norte, please sound off in the chat though what that O is called, because I still don't see that. I don't.
He said it was a sample, but I don't know about the O.
Yeah, we don't know what the O, and that's gonna bother me. So we are moving on to, let's see, Tom Smith. That was an easier name for sure. And this one is called. Let me just make sure this is the right one. X Artels, X Cali Miss. So I don't know if this is maybe a mashup. Let's see. I definitely want to hear that where that was going. Max, what'd you think?
I thought that was cool. It definitely features the guitar heavily. I mean, yeah, I thought it was a cool like late summer like LA pop record. I really liked it.
Yeah, I really liked it. One of my favorite things was the clap. The first clap's like 1/16 note early. And
Right.
like that's a really simple thing y'all can do. I find myself I need to do this more. It's like move it off just the 2 and 4. Move one of them every other time, or that was a good phrasing and it kept the energy going. Really nice panning too. Great work. Next one is by Rasp Beats, my bad. And this we're gonna listen to actually in a little bit, 46 seconds in. So let's take a listen. 1 second. Ready for Rasp Beats. Whoa, yeah, I really like that was unique in the sense it was like almost a little more boom bappy drums
Yep.
with the 808
Yep.
and the very sample like playful summer. It's called Summertime Vibe, so summertime guitar. I do think the kick was maybe clipping a little bit too much. There's a little fighting there, but Max, what'd you think?
No such thing as too much clipping the kick, in my humble opinion.
Okay, there you
But
go. That's the
but
official
to me, the transition between the sections kind of took me out of it. Oh wow, did my
Oh yeah, my bad. Your
video switch to Gmail there?
I think your video just went away, so let's get Max back.
Yikes.
All right, I think Max is back. I see you back.
Sorry. Am I good here?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay,
Max
cool.
is back on the stream.
All right, sorry about that. Anyway, I think the transition between two sections was a little bit throwing me off. It just felt like it was just kind of two different samples that were in like the same key, but didn't necessarily have the same vibe.
Gotcha.
So I think I got taken out of the story of the track a little bit.
So yeah, that's really good feedback. Y'all, we are listening to y'all's submissions from Weekly Rhythm, the show where we provide you a creative prompt at the beginning of the week on Monday, and you have the whole week to work on it and submit it to us. And right now we're listening to them. You can get them in. This week's prompt was to create a track that features guitar. And let's go ahead, move on to the next submission, which is by Courtney. Great seeing your submissions consistently, Courtney. I really appreciate that. And this one's called Strawberries. I love it. Strawberries.
Cool.
All right. That was some hot shit, Courtney. Such unique sound design, and I love the way you use space. Like a lot, I've noticed from your submissions throughout these weeks that you're really good at using space and using unique sounds. Dang, what do you think, Max?
That was it, Chief. That was fire. That was so cool. I wanted to hear every time it came around that original bass line, the one where it goes bum 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 bum, like the little chromatic down there.
Yep.
Oh, so tasty. I loved it. Yes.
Courtney, great work. Keep them coming. So we are moving on to the next submission. This is by Josh Sahunta. And let's see. We're going to play actually 1 minute and 30 into this track. It is called The Worst Year, and I completely agree with you, Josh. It has been the worst year. I don't think anyone will disagree. Let's hear 1:30 in.
Worth it? Was it worth it? It's all over my head. And I don't wanna get out of bed. Sometimes I wonder if we'll end up dead. Is this a story of how it all ends? Can you help me if I lose my mind? Can you tell me if we'll turn out fine? Cause I really wanna hear that we'll be alright. There's no right way to feel in my head. Get no sleep when I lay in my bed. Cause I really wanna hear that we'll be alright. Cause I really wanna hear that we'll be alright. Yeah, we'll be alright.
Woo! Max, what do you think about that?
Damn, we have some talented listeners or viewers. I mean, this is sick right here. That was really, really hot. Yeah, I love the vocal harmonies. Those were really nice. The sample never felt repetitive to me. The drum programming was tight. I mean, I was head nodding. Like, yeah, that was tight right there.
Yeah, I was like, Josh Sahunta, give us your vocals. Let's do a remix. We'll do a remix. That was beautiful. I love the harmonies. The only one thing I think would be interesting, maybe the 808s or the low sub bass were like pretty long when they were in there. Maybe like for the first half of a phrase, like shortening them, giving just a little space. But honestly, that was so smooth. The vocals blew me away, and I could definitely hear that just that the melody of the vocals was amazing. Y'all are so talented. I love the diversity of these samples. Keep prompts, keep them coming. We're moving on to, let's see, Home Fries is the submission, and it is by Blockhead. I love that. And yeah, go ahead, link your SoundClouds, y'all. When we're listening to your submission, is a great time to, collaborate and network, if you will. Let's listen to Home Fries. So let me see. I'm playing at the beginning.
Nice.
Yo, that was
yeah.
sick.
I didn't expect it to go there.
No. Yeah.
That was definitely a different vibe from the intro. The intro I felt like was very cinematic with those like big stabs and stuff like that.
Oh, very cinematic.
Was that like the Blockhead though? I mean,
well, their SoundCloud's Blockhead 1, so I'm not sure.
Okay, because you might need to. There's already a huge producer named Blockhead. If you're a young kid, Blockhead. No disrespect if you're not, but if you don't know, there's a big producer named Blockhead. It might be hard to differentiate.
That's some really, really good feedback, Max. I really loved. I didn't know where it was gonna go. The guitar, and also like when the higher pitch like guitar like filtered in, I almost thought it was a vocal coming in like as it was building the energy. My only feedback maybe was like maybe simplifying the hi-hats the first half of that phrase to let it build energy on the second half. But the drum program was pretty wild. I don't know if that's even good advice. I just something I might try. But yeah, these submissions are crazy, as Ayo Talo sounded off in the chat. And let's go ahead, listen to the next one. This one is by Hyson Music, Hieson Music, and it's demo with guitar. No, let me just make sure I play the right one. All right. So this one is definitely a finished track. It's on SoundCloud. It was submitted a month ago, but that's okay, y'all. You can just submit an idea that's a sketch. You can do a full track. It's all just about staying creative and inspired. So let's take a listen. I'm just gonna play the first 30 seconds or so. Yo, okay, definitely go check out. Let's see. That was, yeah, sick. I agree with the person in the chat that said so many interesting sound choices. Definitely a lot of different sound design elements. And I think, the other thing that stood out to me was the guitar was pretty loose at the beginning, which I kind of liked.
Right.
It was a little, didn't feel like super quantized. And I just felt like above everything else because of that in my ear. Max, what do you think?
That reminded me of like if Igloo Ghost made reggaeton, Yeah. Like it was really all over the place, which was cool in some parts and sort of missed for me in some other parts. I agree with you, like how at the start it was like a little bit loose, a little bit janky. Like that was a cool vibe. I would have I think there were probably 5 or 6 song-worthy ideas in there, and you could build them out into all their own. The person's clearly like spent a lot of time on each individual element. Like just focus on making it simpler and like picking the ones that work best together, and then break the other ones off into their own songs. Would be my advice. But the sound design work was amazing. I thought it sounded good.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely shout yourself out in the chat if that was you. And we're moving on to Audie May. And thanks for continuously submitting, Audie. We appreciate that at Weekly Rhythm. And let's see, there's a few notes. If you want to leave us fun notes, that's really fun. I try to tackle the prompt for Weekly Rhythm and Songwriting Club with this week. Nice, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And guitar melodies were created via piano roll. The guitar sound came from a plugin in an FL Studio called Sakura. And then vocals were from Splice. So yeah, let's take a listen. It's called Intentions.
You're ambitious, self-centered man who's incapable of a decent, clean emotion.
Begging for some love, I'm not your fake love, calling me all night, baby I know you tight. Every time rings my phone, I know you're calling, hey, I know you're calling, hey, where you going, hey, every time rings my phone.
Cool, Max, what'd you think?
That was cool. Yeah, I wanted to hear more of it. Really, I feel like I didn't necessarily get out of the vibe. Like it was nice. It really worked for me. The vocals were from Splice. It sounded like they came pretty well packaged, honestly, and it really fit the beat that they made. So I thought it was tight.
Yeah. Audie, thanks for, and that was I noticed so professional, giving us the fade in and fade out for that 30-second snippet. But yeah, I actually agree. I was like, no, I kind of want to keep hearing it, Audie. Feel free to provide us a full version. I kind of wanted to hear more of that. The drums, I think everything was interesting, and the drums were pretty unique to me, and they stood out. I definitely got my energy. So the next one is by He Meddles in Things, and this is called Omen. Let's take a listen.
Cool.
You have reached the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, also servicing the Veterans Crisis Line. If you are in emotional distress or suicidal crisis, or concerned about someone who might be, we're here to...
Saw 2 dead birds today. Wonder if they died of play. Hold them close to work
Emotional. I love the vocals, and I wish the vocals were just a little bit higher in the mix, just because I mean, they maybe just a hair, but I mean, I'm assuming that's you singing, and I love the like processing. It's very unique. Max, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I thought it was an interesting vibe to it. Like, obviously, the song's got a message, which I thought was really cool. It felt heartfelt. It felt authentic.
Yep.
Which is, I think, what we're all striving for whenever we make music, right? So, I mean, yeah, well done.
Yeah. That was He Meddles in Things. All right, next we've got Candy Cane B, and Cane is with a C, and this is called Funk Me Up. And let's take a listen. I wonder if it's funky.
Oh.
Whoa! Like, I had no idea where that was gonna go. Based on the beginning, it was pretty unquantized, like randomness almost. I was like, oh, but then it kind of felt cool over the drums, and then like started building, and then wow, that was crazy. Candy Cane B. I could definitely see that in like a video game, like music trailer or something like that. So
Yeah.
cinematic, a lot of dramatic points. What do you think, Max?
I thought the electric piano, it sounded like Ableton doing the audio to MIDI. You know what I mean? Like it sounded like it was picking up some higher harmonics and
That's a
stuff and
good
just playing
call.
sort of random notes, like you said. It was still cool. The lead saw synth was too much for me. The wobble was a little surprising. And I see Candy Cane B in the chat sent us the wrong file actually, so this one didn't have guitar. So not quite the prompt, but you know what? I encourage creativity anyway.
Yeah,
Respects Candy Cane B.
I was trying to police. Yeah, thanks for coming clean, Candy Cane B. I was trying to police, like, hey, if there's no guitar, I'm not gonna play it. But I
Right.
honestly got distracted. I was like, where's this going? I completely was like, yeah, distracted by. All right, so this one is also one that's done. It's like on Spotify and SoundCloud, and this is called by the artist Stoffel, Stoffl, and it says, "Who needs racks when you got sax?" I kind of love that.
Oh, indeed.
And I did take a listen to this one because I was curious, and it sounds awesome. So let's take a listen. Stoffel.
Underneath the superficial self, which pays attention to this and that, there is another self, more really us than I.
Very chill. And this time I did confirm there was a guitar. I've actually used that guitar loop on Splice. That's a Splice loop for sure. And yeah, really nice drum mixing. I think like the rim sounded so tasty. Like the kick
Yes.
and rim like mixing and just like where it sat in. I think some of the melodic elements could have been separated a little bit more, like the horns, but I really loved it. Max, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the horn was fine to me. I really liked how how it like fit in the pocket with the drums. I think that was sick. Like the ending of the phrase, the little turnaround was really classy. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it had a nice vibe to it. It put me like I like the fact that they included field recordings as well because it put me in a place when I listened to it. Like it helps you invite you into understanding what the track's going to be about, you know?
Oh yeah. Like it's an environment thing, right? You automatically maybe associate sounds from that environment, or you think about a time you were in that environment, and it's like, it brings you back. Awesome. So this next one is by Daddy Flower, also known as River System, and this is called Cheesy 8-Beat. And we're playing from a minute in, so let's go ahead. Let me just fast forward. Sorry about that. Let me hear. This is called Cheesy 8-Beat by River System. Also, Daddy Flower in the chat. Max, what'd you think?
Well, I liked it, but to me, it was just a little bit hard to grab onto because I feel like a lot of times we have the feedback that there's too much repetition. In this, I sort of felt there wasn't enough. Like I couldn't tell exactly where the like verse section of the beat or the chorus section would be because it was just kind of going like the chords were going all over the place, and like the solo was tight, it fit on everything. But like that should be a smaller part of the whole track. You know what I mean? If you want to add vocals to it, which I think like maybe you are, maybe like consider upping like the rhythm guitar a little bit, saving the guitar like solo kind of section for one part. Maybe like use the melody that you wrote, like record vocals in that melody. He said you need to listen from the beginning, so maybe we like skip to the solo section. So if you're addressing that, sorry about that. But I mean, I thought it was really convincing, like, and authentic for like a country pop sort of vibe.
Yeah, exactly. It did feel like more of a solo than like a hook or like a repetitive melody, like one of those like ones that you're gonna maybe remember. It was definitely more of a journey, not like there's less repetition. But yeah, I definitely said like maybe like TV sync or something like that. And it definitely had like that kind of more classic sound. I would say maybe just the drums also. I wanted a little more energy from the kicks, like or the low end, just slightly more. I know it's not like the most important thing. Max says like you can never clip a kick. We got that on record.
No, you can.
No, we got that. We're gonna clip that. And then,
that's very funny.
Yeah. So I think. Oh yeah, and he said was trying a Hank Marvin vibe. Cool. Very
there we
cool. We're getting. We're about. No, we still got quite a few more. So now we're on Lucid String X, and this is Chapter 1 Blue and Jukebox. Chapter 1 Blue Jukebox. Okay, gotcha. So there are other chapters we need to find out about. Lucid String X, and let's take a listen. All right, I'm just gonna skip for this one. I have to skip. I just have to know like where, because I just want to see.
Yeah, right.
Interesting. So I don't think it ever like gets a huge amount of energy, but it's like definitely more like just more like a journey. And I'm curious if you're in the chat, Lucid String X, did you record the guitar yourself? Because I would have maybe guessed you did. Just what'd you think, Max?
Yeah, I thought it was. It sounded like a soundtrack. I liked the like clean synth tones, but they did kind of get a little bit repetitive for me. So I wasn't really sure where to go with that one. But it was certainly very creative. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like, like setting a particular scene. So like I did get the chapter vibe from it, and maybe it's in the same way that like Mike Dean just did his synth album. Maybe like that's sort of the idea here. But I want to hear the rest of the chapters.
That's a really good analogy. That's a really good. Yeah, it's like it's trying to break rules of classic form, or like having a chorus or an obvious drop. So yeah, and that's the point. We can give this one prompt, and there's so many ways you can approach it. If y'all are just tuning in, we are going over your all submissions of how to creating a track that features guitar, and you can email those at weeklyrhythm@splice.com. We're getting, let's see, the next one. Oh, this is exciting. This next one is by Kenneth Takanami, and let's see, this is called Song 42 Arranged, and we're going to play it at a minute in. Let's see. 1 minute in. Max, what'd you think? You're bobbing your head.
And I cannot stress this enough. Fucking go. That was fire. That was so good. I love that. I have no feedback one way or the other. I didn't care that there was no vocals. The guitar tone was sick. The drums were sick. I loved it.
Yeah, Kenneth Takanami, if you're in the chat. All right, there you are. Did you play the guitar? Because I feel like that had to have been like play. I mean, that was, yeah. It sounded great. I think
so.
I think I might have put a little transient shaper on the kick just to get a little of the high end of the kick, because the kick rhythm was really interesting. But honestly, yeah, mad vibes, great work, Kenneth Takanami. So now we are moving on to J Money, and shout out to J Money. This is actually Josh from the Splice engineering team. He actually produced this track, and he said that his 7-year-old son wrote the lyrics for this. So it features guitar and his child, which is awesome.
J Money in the back, J Money in the front, J Money for a month, J Money on the drums, J Money, J Money. Take away the J and it's all okay, 'cause it's just cash. Make cash. Giving a speech and it's on my mind, and it's all good 'cause I commit no crime. Going to the backyard having fun, never gonna stop till the day is done. I used to go outside, but now I gotta hide inside to get by. Wanna get out of this stinking house so I can have some fun when the day is done. Wouldn't love with Xbox Rocket League.
Yo, I mean, sorry, I think I clipped the mic there. Yeah, it's just so awesome how much talent there is at Splice, and just how everyone's a producer and musician. But I mean, come on, like those vocals were fire. Everyone's reacting the same way. We want like this on Spotify. Where can we stream this? J Money or Josh, if you're in the chat, please send a Spotify link. Max, what do you think?
Josh, that's shockingly good. You could get signed with that like at a major label today. Like if you sent that to people and like had a TikTok strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What's your TikTok
Yo, that was
strategy
fire.
on
That was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. The kid is legit. we'll definitely keep an eye out on J Money for sure. So the next one we've got is, I believe, by, let's see. Oh, this one did not download. Y'all, if you can send MP3s or a Google Drive link, but we are good. Let me just get this one. This one is called Life, and it's by Effetto Beats, EFFETTO Beats, and it's called Guitar Mood. And let me just make sure I'm playing the right part. No timestamp from the beginning. Let's take a listen.
Effetto Music.
Yo. Okay, Max, what do you think?
Okay, so yeah, there was some stuff there, definitely. I thought it was hard. I like the drum programming. The snare, like the snare that hit right before the main snare, just threw me off a little bit, but I think it's probably fine, like if that's a stylistic choice he's making. I do have to say though, is that a guitar? I see in the chat, somebody said maybe palm mute guitar might be, but I was just wondering.
Yeah, I mean, we're real stickler for the rules here at Weekly Rhythm, so I'm just
listen.
Have to
after you've
ban
tagged
you
enough
from our
samples,
life. No,
guitar,
not at all, not at all. Yeah, exactly. It's a family in the guitar family, if you will, right? Little like asterisk there. It's maybe, yeah, exactly. I thought it was awesome. I loved the drum programming. Yeah, that one snare might have been a little distracting, but I just loved the hi-hat, and then like the second phrase when that pad came in on the left side.
Yeah,
I thought that was super smooth. It's a nice change, but it's so out of the way for the vocalist that would be on that, the rapper singer. All right, so we are getting actually more submissions. I don't know if we're gonna ever end this stream, Max. We're just getting submissions rolling on. So now we're getting this next one is by Namaboku. I have definitely enjoyed Namaboku's submissions throughout these weeks. They're definitely a repeat offender here on Weekly Rhythm. And I'm going to butcher this name. It is Kamikakushi. Kamikakushi is the song name, and I know it's going to feature guitar. So let's take a listen.
夏がめくるたび記憶をよぎるのは露天街が照らした道を歩く君今宵花火始まるまで暇つぶし誰もいないいないいないよ花火はもうなってしまう
Yo, Max, how long were you waiting to pull out that lighter? And congratulations, Namaboku. You got Max to pull out the lighter.
That was dope. Yeah, that was sick. That was amazing. I have no feedback, but wow, Stan Namaboku stream, whatever he just put in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, again, that was, yeah, I have no criticism, constructive feedback. That was just like really enjoyable. Namaboku, great job. And yeah, you got Max to bring out the lighter on that one. So, I mean, there's nothing.
I legit didn't plan that. I just, my cat took a nice shit in here and I wanted to light a candle.
Yeah, my cat did the same. I did not have a chance to light the candle yet. So we are moving on where the submissions keep on coming. So yeah, submit your your guitar track to weeklyrhythm@splice.com. Again, it was mainly if you wanted to create something new, but if you've got, something that really features guitars, we'll try to take a listen to it. The next one is by Cuttle, Cuttle, and this is called Sapphire, and they've already clipped it down for us. Thank you, Cuttle. Max, what'd you think?
Shout out to Cuddle. That's flame. I mean, obviously that's flame. That's tight right there. The chord progression is cool because like it is similar. Like it's repetitive enough that you catch onto it, but it's not so repetitive that you ever get tired of it. Like everything's like the drum pattern is like tasty. It's in the pocket. Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah, I mean, I want to just in the chat, Cuddle's sound design always soothes my soul. I just have to agree with that 100%. The filtering on the element, I think it was a low pass on the guitar, like around 20 seconds in when it comes in on the left, was so tasteful, and yeah, great work, Cuddle. You should be proud. And let's see, this next one is by Dr. Gaurav Sharma, Mind Money Magic. Let My Flame Dance. Oh my gosh, that's a mouthful. All right, So yeah, I have no idea. These are the ones that are coming in right now. I haven't screened them. Please don't say anything offensive. Let's see. Let's take a listen. Definitely guitar. So definitely featured guitar heavily at the beginning. I definitely like the drum programming, like the stop time was very kind of like interesting. Don't hear that much often. My main thing was maybe the sound design on the melody could be a little more, a little more intricate or have, a little more layers, but the melody itself was pretty good. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, I really like the stop time. I think that's very effective. It took me a minute to catch onto the groove of it, but I think that's just because it's different from the rest of the stuff that we've been listening to, right? So like, I thought it really worked. Like once I sort of wrapped my mind around it, I do agree that the sound design maybe could have gone a little bit, but it's hard for me to specifically tell what I would have wanted them to do with the sound design. So I think it was good.
Yeah,
exactly. I think it was a really good submission.
Yeah, and I really love actually now the snare roll. Someone said something about snare with the pull off. Is that what they meant? Oh yeah, snare with the pull off. Great work, Mind Money Magic. This next one,
like with pulling off the guitar.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The string.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, okay, yes, that's sure. So the next one is by Dark Pink, and we spell that DARCKPINCK, and this is called Club Pop. Submission for guitar track. nice work. I really liked the simplicity of the drums, but the pattern changes kept the energy going throughout. And also, I think it was Max. Is this the first 4 on the floor we've heard?
Maybe.
Crazy.
That's kind of weird to think.
That
But it
is
was
kinda
even a
weird.
little slow for most like 4 on the. I mean, it wasn't really like house 4 on the floor
Yeah.
anyway. It was more like somebody said it was like almost like reggaeton vibes, which I was sort of getting as well. Yeah, I thought it was cool. The guitar was tasty, like it sat nicely. It did feel maybe a little bit biting because like it was mixed with the high end, but like I think it totally works for pop mix. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
That was hot.
my only maybe suggestion is I don't know the bass. There was like a bass line, but it didn't feel very present, like as a bass, like in the mix. And yeah, maybe just like strengthening that a little bit, but definitely the kick was hitting nicely and the drums were punching. Great. So we are getting more towards the home stretch here. I think we have a few more to go. And this one is by, let's see, Blacks Casper. And that's BLXCKCXCSPR. So just basically take the A's and making them an X. I like it. And we're going to listen to Sports Car. And let's see, start at 1 minute and 16 seconds. I'm going to go here. Don't rename the file name. Right here.
The ones who know they can't afford that, nah. Nigga, you know that you can't afford that, nah. Nigga, you know that you can't afford that, nah. I'm in love with a rock star. She be move faster than a sports car. In the trap, she be hustling. She be getting that money like she on the bank, yeah. I'm in love with a rock star. She be move faster than a sports car. I'm in love with a rock star. She be move faster than a sports car. In the trap, she be hustling. She be getting that money like she on the bank, yeah. I'm in love with a rock star. She be move faster than a sports car. She works so hard, she barely sleeps. 'Cause even when she's in the sheets, she work. And as a man, try to understand, try to calm her mood, do what she wants to.
Max, what'd you think?
I was feeling it. I like the hook a lot, as some people are saying in the chat. This feels like maybe a little bit more of a good song than a good production. Like, not that it wasn't good, but like I really liked the songwriting. I felt like it shined, and like the voice shined a little bit more than the beat. But with that said, like I thought the hook was really cool. The vocal processing was interesting. I'm interested in hearing your take on that. Like it was really processed, but I think it could kind of be a thing.
That's exactly what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask you, Max. Like, could we try to guess the plugin? I would love it if you are in the chat room, if you could tell us what plugin or sets of like processing chain you use, because I did think the same thing. Like the vocals were really processed but unique.
Yeah, I'm gonna I guess the Logic pitch correction.
Logic pitch correction.
That's gonna be my guess. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess Waves.
Okay. Well, he says he doesn't use a lot of processing, so respect to you.
Well,
just
okay.
the only processing he needs is the human vocal cords.
I never understood that.
Nah, couldn't be me either, but respect to you.
Awesome. Well, we are going on to the next one, which is by Tia Drummer, TIA, and then Drumma, no R with an A at the end. And this is called Pono, Pono. And let's see. Let me see. Now I have no idea if any of these have guitar, so let's try to listen for the guitar. These are all coming in live. Definitely got a guitar. Okay.
Yeah, that one's got guitar.
Yeah, very cool vibe, more electronic vibe, and a lot of nice smooth sound design. The guitar was very tasteful, and I really enjoyed like the vocals. The vocal processing. What do you think, Max?
Yeah. Yeah, the way the little like delay vocals kind of hit, I thought were really, really nice. Something wasn't meshing for me about the final like pad, like at the end and maybe the guitar loop. Like it just wasn't sitting perfectly for me with the rest of the sound bed. And the only other thing I would say is I'm not sure like the transition between the intro and the second part I think just could have been a little smoother. Like maybe if you had started out with like the more electronic kind of pad, it kind of just mesh a little bit better. But I mean, that's super nitpicky, and I thought it was nice for like sending us into its own environment, right?
Yeah.
So I think it successfully accomplished that for sure.
Yeah, and then I see like nice chill for a vlog. Definitely vlog vibes for sure.
Yeah, well done.
And the next one is by, let's see, Trevor Kazarian, Kazarian, and this is called Guitar Traps. So, Max, if you're a betting man, would you bet there's guitar in this?
I think it probably would be in there.
Las Vegas is reopening, so let's see. All right, so Guitar Traps. Yeah, I think, this goes hard. Yep, the beat definitely goes hard. Said in the chat. I really love the guitar rhythm where it's like yeah. Leaving that first note like muted or off or just not there is it's a good mixing technique because it makes it easier to like, avoid things. But it's also just like really musical. So I really enjoy that. Max, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you could also accentuate that with a little bit of sidechain. I couldn't really tell if it was on there already. It may have been, but I thought it was really tight. Like the drum, it sounded very professional. It sounded, if anything, it sounded a little bit like a type beat to me, but it sounded like a type beat that would sell very well. So props.
For sure. Awesome. We're getting to the home stretch here. So the next one is by Philip Cockman, who is Philly Chiz 12 in the chat. I've seen you, Philly, so thanks for submitting your idea. This is called Chill Idea. I think it's going to be chill. I hope there's guitar. Let's see.
We're in luck.
Nice melodic lines in there. What do you think, Max?
Yeah. I was really feeling the melodic lines, especially like the mallets there at the end. I thought that was tight.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Have we heard that guitar sample before? I feel like maybe somebody else on the stream used that same sample. I don't know.
Maybe.
No shade though.
Yeah, sound off if that was a sample or I thought the lines were really unique. I feel like if I
Not
heard
a
that
sample.
on Splice.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like if I heard that on Splice, I'd hop on that, and I don't think I've heard. Yeah, Philly Chiz.
Yeah.
Very, very
well,
nice.
props, thanks. It sounded like it could have been a Splice sample, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, let's talk about that. feel
There
like
was maybe a couple things in the drum programming that didn't really mesh to me though. I don't know if you had the same take, Nick. Like there were a few crashes that sounded maybe a little bit out of place.
Yeah. For the drums mainly, I think the snare could have cut just a little more. Like, I mean, I feel like that's like you want to kind of like it to slap a little bit on that kind of vibe. But yeah, I mean, I was really just kind of distracted by the guitar lines in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way.
The melodics were carrying it for me.
Yeah, awesome. Great work, y'all. This is the next one by, let's see, this is called Cold Beat version 3. So we're on the third version here. And this is by Callan Ash. So KALLENASH, Callan Ash. And we are going to listen to it, Cold Beat Mastered. Yo, what'd you think, Max?
Yeah, when the beat came in, that was sick. I liked it a lot. Good vibe to it. It had the wow factor for me. So yeah, it was hard.
Definitely had the wow factor. The pocket and the groove of the beat was super dope. And then, yeah, I mean, it just had me head bobbing really hard and just like enjoying it a lot. So great work. Are you here? Yeah, awesome.
Hey,
was the
there
guitar
it is.
maybe a sample or played in? Let us know if you're in the chat. Drop your SoundCloud, y'all. This is a great time to network and try to find collaborators. As you can hear, we're all coming from very different genres, it sounds like, and that's a really dope thing. We got on the home stretch here. This one is by Ryan Lisse, Lisse. I apologize if I said that wrong. And this is called Leveled BPM. So that's interesting. So.
Okay.
I have to keep listening. I want to hear the bass if the bass comes in. Very chill vibes. I loved it, and it's the drums hit hard. Drums were fire. I think the bass might have been a little on the high end, maybe or maybe a little more sidechain to the main kick. What do you think, Max?
I was feeling that one. I really liked it like I think it's a good flip of the sample because the sample looped the whole way and I still didn't get bored of it. I was like, yeah. Somebody said just enough elements in that one, and that I think is true. That's something that I really like when like there's nothing else that you can take away from it, like, and you've explored it to as far as like the sample needs to go, right? So I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it was a dope submission.
Yeah, it's a really good way to look at it. It's like if you had to get rid of a sample and you could decide quickly, then maybe you should just get, like that kind of like what you're saying, just the right amount of elements. So really well said. Really well put, chat. Let's see. This one is called Flamenco, and I'm really excited. I hope, let's see what kind of guitar it is. And let me get the email. It is by, I believe, Joseph Corbin Banks. Joseph Corbin Banks. And this is Flamenco. So let's take a listen. Let's take a listen. Yo, okay, first off, I love any beat that starts like boom, woo, like with the 808 when it just comes in like that. I'm sold. I'm sold on it. And dang, yeah, the kind of like the timbre of the guitar. I was probably a flamenco type, guitar. Yeah, everyone's saying you're fat.
Something like that. No, that was nasty face. Right there. I was stink facing when the halftime like pitch down guitar sample came in at the end. That was hot. I like that a lot.
Yo, yeah.
That could have been the whole beat for me, honestly.
I'm curious what DAW you're using. Was there gross beat on that? Was that an FL Studio or Halftime by Cable Guys? Joseph Corbin Banks, if you're in the chat, sound off what DAW you used to do that with. That was fire. We love that. Cool. So we're getting on to the home stretch here, about, I think, 5 more to go. And let's take a listen to the next one. This is by, I think Tia Drumma. I feel like we listened to Tia Drumma already. Yeah, we did. Okay,
I think
cool.
We did, yeah.
So this next one is actually by IX Elite HD. I've seen you in the chat. So Elite XD. That's your email. So if you want to link your socials, that'd be great. And it's called Kony, KONY 2. And let's take a listen as it downloads.
Soren, run that shit back.
Yeah, I think the chat's sounding off perfectly. Dig in the West Coast vibe going hard. Percussion is really interesting. I completely agree with those. Max, what did you think about that?
Well, yeah, it was definitely West Coast, but it sounded modern to me because it was still very like kawaii and like pitched up, like, so I was into it, but it took me a little while. It sounded very positive. I could hear like Lil B on that. That would be legendary.
Yeah. That would be great. Yeah, definitely a lot of space for vocalists and perfect for a vocalist. Awesome. So we are getting to the home stretch here. We've got a few more. If y'all want to get on this train, tune in Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, we will be kicking off our prompt. And then I think you're going to really like it. I think everyone's going to really like this one. And this next one is by Dallin Nelson, Dallin Nelson. And this is called Come Through, featuring Dallin. All right, so let's take a listen. SoundCloud volume.
I do love the way your legs move. Gotta get my mind right. Are you gonna come through? Come through. Won't you come through? Won't you come through? Won't you come through? Oh, I know you
I swear I do. You the type to act shy, but call me boo. And when we conversate through text, please don't leave me on. Cause I really wanna know what's going on. Would you come through if I call your cell? Would you think different of me if I called you from jail? Cause sometimes my mom be stuck in a cell, and I'm hoping this music can come up with the bell. Yeah.
I do love the way your legs move. Gotta get my mind right. Are you gonna come through? Come through. Won't you?
Yeah, I really like the vocal. I think Dallin was the vocalist because it's Come Through featuring Dallin. If you're in the chat, sound off if, yeah, I'm pretty sure that it must be. What'd you think, Max?
I think Dallin did sound off already, so shout out to Dallin for sending this in. This was cool. I like the singing part a little bit more than the rapping part, maybe. Just because I thought like the sung vocals were super smooth. And yeah, I was into it. I thought it was a tight hook. The beat was riding, like the drums sounded nice to me. I liked the use of the sample. It fit the voice and it fit the vibe very well. So it was convincing. I thought it was good.
Awesome. So we just got one last one before Max. We're going to share ours for Monday. And this one just came in and had to play it because Diego Felipe Rinson has been submitting pretty regularly. So, you know, you got the loyalty. And this one's just called No Name. They said it's not finished. So let's just take a listen. And
no judgment.
No judgment. Yeah. So let's listen. Yo, I really like the guitar processing. It had like a little bit or like redux on it. Like it was crunchy. It felt crunchy. And I wanted a bass. So that's, I think, the next thing, Diego, I would go for. Definitely adding a bass in there. What'd you think, Max?
Yeah, exactly. A tasty little bass guitar line in there would just set that off so beautifully. But I really like the guitar processing, as you were saying. Potentially, maybe there were some parts where it was like one too many instruments. Like maybe like I think there was a part where the synth and the guitar were kind of going together. Not that they were clashing, because they definitely fit. But yeah, and maybe it's my headphones or something like that in terms of like the mix or whatever. But I think that overall it was really, really nice. Like the guitar was super tasty. I just need to hear that bass, and it's going to be a fire track.
Yeah, awesome work, y'all. Again, this was Weekly Rhythm. We're about to wrap it up and play Max and I's submission, and it's really fun. Okay, so if you didn't watch on Monday, Max and I used Soundation, which is like a web-based DAW that even is free if on the base account, and it's a DAW where you can have, I don't know how many collaborators at once. We definitely had more than 8. Programming, working in the DAW all simultaneously with their own individual transport controls. It was sick. It was a unique experience. I was pretty apprehensive of like what the project would sound like with so many people, so many random people jumping in, but I was really happy with how it came out. Max, what do you have to add to that?
Yeah, I was honestly shocked about, first of all, how cool Soundation was to work in. Like, I thought it was going to be really painful and it was not going to work, but it was pretty dope. And a lot of people just joined like quickly, which I never expected to be anything but a shit show. But it actually came out pretty good, and I'm really, really thrilled with it. So yeah, I was really surprised, and I was surprised at the quality of the stuff that people were writing in. They were putting in like really like detailed MIDI arrangements and pitch slides and shit like that. It really worked.
Yeah, so I just pulled up the project here. This is the moment of truth. If it'll play well on my stream. We didn't bounce it down. I should probably bounce it before. But yeah, you can see here, like we started with the guitar loop up here. Let me see if I can solo and play it. I think it's gonna work. And then Max and I kind of like started it ourselves. I'm going to stop this. And then halfway through the stream, we drop the link into the chat. And then if you all look on this screen here, I mean, these are all the collaborators. Boom. So definitely more than 10 people. That's amazing. I don't know if all of them were on at the same time, but it was crazy. It just like, it was like 3D printing the project. It felt like all parts were just coming in together. And then shout out to Daddy Flowers in the chat. He actually recorded a vocal during the Twitch stream and sent it to us, and we were able to upload it to Soundation, which supports, third-party audio. So let's take a listen to this group beat. I don't know what we're gonna call it. I mean, we're gonna have to decide, vote on it. All right, let's take a listen. So it definitely sounds like the guitar soloed still. That was my bad. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Money's on the table, take the deal or leave it. Money's on the table, take the deal or leave it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Money's on the table. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yo, so shout out to everyone on this list that worked on that. It was a lot of fun. It was unlike anything I've ever done. And shout out to Soundation for making a great kind of product. Max,
Totally.
It was so great having you on, and you're a great co-host. Is there anything you want to just let the chat know before signing off? Words of wisdom, what you're doing this weekend, anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, thanks for participating in this. It's always really cool to see all your submissions. It's really fun to listen to them. Nick, thanks for having me here. It's always a pleasure. Really inspired me to work on more music this week. So I, thank you all for sharing my practice.
Max, we will touch base with you soon. And y'all, thank you so much for submitting such great music. Tune in next Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can get on next week's prompt, which is going to be really exciting. Thank you again for submitting, and I hope everyone stays positive, stays healthy over the weekend, and most of them want to stay inspired, keep creating music. I'll catch you all later. Later, Max.
See ya.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.